that we're in a place where that is going to become more popular as efficiencies improve in the local industry. It's going to become, as I said, an economic choice. And I think that Nigerians are filling the gaps. They're filling all of the spaces that are being created by more expensive imports. And I think that we will find that made in Nigeria becomes a reality. But it's not the sort of thing that you can force, that you can enforce beyond controlling imports and those kinds of things. I think it will come down at the end of the day to how efficient and how the quality of local products become. And I think that we're already seeing that. And I think in the next few years, you're going to see a sea change in terms of purchase of made in Nigeria goods or patronage of made in Nigeria goods. I think we're going to see a real change.
Okay, so we've talked about the buying side of it, but let's talk about the actual production side of it.
Yeah.
Since your administration has took office, how have the lives of the typical average entrepreneur in Nigeria, how have their lives improved under your administration?
Well, let me say that first, opportunity. Opportunity has arisen. There are more opportunities. And I think that that's, again, comes from the fact that...
Even though we're in a recession, how are there more opportunities in a recession?
And this is the point I'm making, that what has happened, for example, is that imports are more expensive. So opportunities, there are more opportunities for local production. I just gave an example of agriculture, more opportunities in agriculture, more opportunities in agro-processing, more opportunities even in technology, in technology products for young people. Now, that does not mean that you will find an immediate efficiency or immediate prosperity, but the opportunities are there. I think that what we found, and as someone would say to you, a recession or a crisis really may sound that way, but it really brings about significant opportunities, significant challenges. So what we're trying to do is to improve the business environment, improve the environment for doing business, so that those opportunities become reality, so that they actually become something in the hands of young people and of entrepreneurs who are taking those opportunities and who are actually trying to profit by those opportunities. But I think that the opportunities in the recession are immense, and especially for local production, for local activity, and we're seeing a lot of that taking place.
I know you've signed executive orders to try and cut down on the red tape, bureaucracy, to make it easier for businesses to start up in Nigeria right now. When you sign these executive orders, how do you monitor implementation to make sure it has the desired effect, especially for the executive orders that have a 30-day deadline?
Yeah. What we've tried to do, and this is, is really engaging with the public service. For the first time, I met with the permanent secretaries, met with staff, open meetings where people talk back and forth about what we need to do. We've now broken that down to permanent secretaries meeting with their immediate staff, and we're breaking that down further. And we're looking at how we can maintain that communication, because that's the only way to really continuously check what is going on. And we're also trying to do a lot of training and trying to get people to understand that this is really the way to go. Not just because it is good practice, but because it's also the way to sustain the resources that pay for the public service and the resources that will get this nation going forward. So I think that there's a need to change the orientation, which is what we're doing with training and engaging, and then monitoring. And we've also set clear deadlines. We've also said, look, if you don't perform, these are the consequences. So I think that we will get efficiencies as we go along. The important thing is to keep our eyes on the ball, and we're doing so.
Another thing that Mr. Galari touched on is that this country's future really lies in the hands of the private sector. Absolutely. It's all about encouraging private sector investment, encouraging foreign direct investment from outside the country. How much do you think Nigeria's reputation for weakness when it comes to the rule of law, the rule of law specifically has hampered foreign direct investment?
Well, let me say first that there are many factors that an investor obviously will be looking at, rule of law being one, but not all of it. And what you find is that private sector would usually factor in all of this into its costing, into just making the decision. And many times you'll find that, and this is what we're seeing, we'll find that, investors are coming and they're investing in various sectors of the economy. Some are increasing investments and all of that. But there is, of course, a significant drawback if people feel that disputes cannot be resolved quickly and efficiently. That's a significant drawback. And there are many who are squeamish about those kinds of things and who will not invest on account of the fact that they are fearful that it may well be that if there's a dispute, it may not be resolved in time, it may give rise to difficulty. And that is that's just a fact of life. And that's one of the reasons why we're trying to improve, administration of justice, delivery of justice, and all of that. And, we talked about that a few moments ago. And you really can't avoid that. It is so fundamental. It's so important. And, for me, it's a sort of commitment that we can't take lightly, Whether it is for investment or just doing justice for the ordinary citizen or the person who just wants a simple matter resolved, it really is our duty to ensure that we provide, a system of justice that delivers on that. And so, working on it on a day-by-day basis is all we can do. And we really
so what changes have your administration made to make sure that the rule of law is no longer as much of a problem for foreign investors?
Well, that's the point I was making earlier, that it depends. There are three arms of government that have to work together. And it's difficult, especially because, there has been quite a bit of rot through the years. But one of the things we've tried to do is to ensure that we interact with the judiciary in order to bring about this system. One of the things I was speaking about, for example, with respect to special offenses and all that, we're trying to constitute, we're trying to designate courts. We're speaking to the Chief Justice to designate special courts that will be able to deal with these issues. We're also talking about more efficiency in commercial courts. Mm-hmm. And these are interactions that are going on with the judiciary also. So I think that what we need to do is to engage the judiciary sufficiently. Let the judiciary understand the importance of what they do to the economy. Sometimes that isn't necessarily always well appreciated. And I think that that's a point that we need to make. And it really comes down to working as efficiently as we can with the judiciary. Again, government, by that I mean the executive, cannot by any kind of fiat get, the administration of justice working efficiently. Mm-hmm. We simply have to collaborate and cooperate with the judiciary. And of course with the legislature as well. These are not, in a democracy, these are not necessarily straightforward. They're not necessarily easy. And people don't necessarily work from the same or sing from the same songbook all the time. But this is an engagement that I think is important. And I think that we've taken the first step by actually sitting down with the judiciary to raise those issues at the highest levels and to see what it is that we need to do to get things going forward.
Okay, my final question, Mr. Vice President. So if, say, we speak again at the end of this administration's first term in 2019, where will Nigeria be? What promises can you make in terms of some of the changes that ordinary Nigerian citizens will be feeling or will have noticed 2 years from now?
Well, I'm not, let me just say that our commitment is to lead this country with all of the resources that we can bring to the table, to lead it honestly, to lead it transparently, and as efficiently as we possibly can, in every aspect, in the economy, security, fight against corruption, which are the three main issues that we think are on the table. We want to see an improved power infrastructure, especially power and transportation. We're working hard on that. And we want to be able to deliver on aspects of our rail system. We want to improve power supply by the end of our administration. We're definitely going to be self-sufficient in rice production by the end of this administration and several other agricultural produce. We think that in several areas of the economy, manufacturing we expect is going to improve. We're going to significantly improve the business environment, the ease of doing business. I think that there's so many areas where there will be greater efficiency and greater delivery. But I think the most important thing is that we're committed to running a government that is transparent, a government that is efficient, a government that serves the people, and that responds to the concerns and to the problems of the Nigerian people. That I think is all that I can say.
And I understand that you can't make any promises because obviously you can't see the future, but I think that, you know, a lot of Nigerians have heard many promises before under many administrations for many, many years, and they really want to see results. So can you make any assurances beyond just we would like and we want to?
Well, all I can say to you is that these are the projections that we have made. And I've spoken about the concrete things. I've spoken about agriculture and what you're going to see in agriculture. We've started our rail. We're doing the Lagos-Kano rail. The contract is already out the concession for Lagos-Kano, which is the narrow gauge. General Electric has taken that. We're going to be moving over 1 million tons of goods on that rail by October. We're doing the standard gauge for Lagos-Kano. We're doing Lagos-Calabar as well, which is also a standard gauge rail. You know, we're going to be in mining, for example. We're coming out doing much more efficiently in mining. Mining productivity has improved significantly today. In fact, that's one of the sectors, aside from agriculture, that's also making significant improvements. Mm-hmm. We're opening up technology. Many young people are getting involved in technology and all of that. So we're going to see more improvement in technology. Power, we're working day by day on power. Mm-hmm. We expect that we're going to see much greater improvement in power, much greater improvement, because we're using both off-grid and on-grid initiatives now. And of course, we're involving the private sector a great deal. Mm-hmm. We're expecting that the private sector is already investing considerably more. I want to open up the power sector for more private sector investment. And then there are also many private sector opportunities that are game-changing. For example, the oil refinery that's been built in Lagos, 650,000 barrels a day, which is the largest single-line refinery in the world. That should be open early 2019. The fertilizer plant, too, Indorama, and the one at Dangote is opening. Also, the largest single-line fertilizer plants in the world. So, hey, the future is certainly very bright, and I think that we're going to do great things.
Okay. Mr. Vice President, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's great talking to you, as always.